Hey everyone, welcome back to another Summit Conversations video. I want to talk to you today about pitching speakers for your summit. I get a decent number of pitches over here, and what I have found is that more and more of them are just too easy to say no to, right? And that's not what you want for your event. You don't want it to feel easy for someone to say, no thanks. A lot of the time, I'm actually tempted to respond with an edited and improved version of what they sent, but hey, try this instead. But I don't think there's a world where that would be received well. So I hold my tongue, but you want your pitch to be an instant heck yes, or at the very least, make people dig into what you have to say and reach out with any questions they have. So today I want to talk about what makes speaker pitches kind of fall flat or even turn people off completely. And more importantly, what you can do to make your pitches stand out in a good way. So let's dive into that. And before we get into how to make your pitches stand out, I want to start with what not to do. And that's going to help us kind of breeze through what to do. And a lot of these things will probably be things you have seen, either with summit pitches or pitches for podcast interviews or anything like that if you've received those. And the first mistake I see is making it painfully obvious that you did zero research. Pitching speakers is not a quick and easy task. For me, it's this multi-day process that it takes some serious hours. It's not a matter of telling your VA, hey, go find everyone who does this and send them this email. It's a matter of knowing exactly what people and topics your summit needs, identifying the perfect fit people, and that means a lot of different things, researching their sweet spot area of expertise and pitching them on that exact thing. Pitches without topic suggestions, without personalization, without a name, with a topic that doesn't make sense, that's going to make your summit an easy no. The second mistake I see is that the topics and audiences for these summits are way too broad. And for me, when I'm getting these pitches, they don't make sense for me. So when you are pitching a speaker to speak at your summit, you need to make sure the audience you are targeting for your event, number one, is one that will work. And number two is one that they will want to get in front of. For example, if someone pitches me for a summit for bloggers, it's a no, because I know those are not my people. I know I'm not going to get very many opt-ins from that summit. The third mistake here then is when the benefits for me as a speaker are either unclear or just kind of insulting. And that can tie into this last step too of being pitched for summits that don't align with what we do or what we want to get in front of. Right? Those things really tie into these benefits we get. And I think most oftenly, specifically with the benefits, most people just leave that part out. Or they're like, hey, I want to have you at my summit. I need XYZ from you. And that's it. It's well, why? Why should I want to be a part of it? And then again, on a related note, it's kind of just asking for way too much. So I have seen pitches that require you to have a minimum email list size, 5,000 subscribers, and they want 3 solo emails to that list, or they want a pre-recorded presentation, a live video, a worksheet, whatever else, or they want to get on a call with you for you to get all the information. And on one hand, I get it. For some people, I get it. You want your summit to succeed, and this seems like the best way to do that. But when you are asking your speakers to jump through hoops before they've even said yes, that's a really quick way to get ignored by a lot of people. Okay, so those are the main things I just want you to straight up avoid. So let's talk about what to do instead, what actually works. Number one is having an appealing and well-targeted event that someone wants to be a part of. And we have all kinds of resources on how to do that. Feel free to comment on this video or email us for help with that. But this is the foundation of everything. If your summit has a compelling topic that speaks to a well-defined audience, your pitches instantly become more effective. So think about it, and this will make more sense for some people than others, but just bear with me. So would you rather speak at a summit that's the ultimate entrepreneur summit or the membership retention strategy summit? One is very vague and not at all attention grabbing. The other immediately tells me who is going to be there, what value I can bring, all kinds of stuff. So when your event is tightly focused and very clearly valuable, you don't have to work nearly as hard to convince people. They see the name of that summit and they're like, yeah, I want to be a part of that. Of course I do. Okay. The second thing is to make your requirements really clear up front, and also don't be extra about it. Okay. So number one, I don't want to have to respond and ask you, what do you need from me? Or I don't want to have surprises after I've already agreed. But I also don't want to see this big long list of all these things you need from me. So in your initial pitch, tell speakers exactly what you need from them, what is required and what is optional. How many emails do they need to send? What kind of social media promotion? Is there any live attendance? How long does their video have to be? Is there any specific format requirement? If you have requirements from your speakers, spell it out. and don't make it sound scary. You have to keep it reasonable. And remember, like, they are really the ones doing you a favor. It's not the other way around. So be upfront, be reasonable, and like people will tend to respect that and just be grateful that you are being upfront with these things. Okay, number 3 is don't require a certain email list or audience size. And I have a full podcast episode that goes into all kinds of details on this, but this is one of my biggest pet peeves personally. I've seen summit hosts require speakers to have 2,000, 5,000, 10,000 people on their email list before they will allow them to speak. And like, honestly, I see this as a band-aid for an ineffective summit strategy. When your summit is structured properly, when you have the right strategy, when you have the right audience and topic, you don't have to obsess over how many people each speaker can bring. It all evens out. And I've seen speakers with like 1,000 engaged subscribers drive more registrations and more engagement in sales than speakers with tens of thousands. And I mean that. Plus, think about what that requirement communicates to these speakers. It's basically saying, you look great, what you do looks good if you can bring me an audience along with it. Like, it just does not set a great foundation for a relationship, right? It's just not a good look. 4th, make sure the benefits are awesome and crystal clear. So earlier on, I said you need to tell them what you need from them. Also, make it clear what they're going to be getting. Why should they participate? And that's not just exposure. Okay, there should be a lot of other things. What will they tangibly get from being a part of your event? You don't have to pay them up front necessarily, but there should be some very tangible things they're going to get that should be spelled out very clearly in your pitch. Okay, and 5th, lines up with what we were talking about in the mistakes. Don't make them get on a call or jump through hoops to participate. Your initial pitch should include everything they need to make a decision, the summit topic and audience, the requirements, the benefits, the timeline, all of it, and all they should have to do is hit reply and say, I'm in. That's all that should be required of them at that step. Now, it's totally fine to offer an optional call to get to know each other or answer questions. That's great. And people you don't know will probably really appreciate that. But don't require it. Okay? Let them opt in if they want that touch point. And if there's someone that you do, like you're like, okay, I think I would like them for my summit, but I would want to call with them first, do that separately. Okay, reach out to them and say you'd love to get to know each other or see how you can support each other or whatever. Position it however you want. Get on that call with them separately to see if you guys vibe. And at the end, you can bring up your summit if you want to, but don't put those two pieces together. Okay, and then finally, just kind of a bonus, like give a reasonable due date. Tell them when you need to hear back from them and make it realistic. Don't say I need to hear back tomorrow. I need to hear back in 48 hours. Give them about a week and expect to have to follow up with people. Okay, that's just part of the process. So like these things, none of these were really complicated, but they are missed so often, which is why I wanted to share them with you. And I think we will all be a little happier with fewer terrible pitches landing in our inbox. I've actually heard many times from well-known business owners and speakers that they will only say yes to a summit if they can tell that it's being run with our system based on the template they get that they're being pitched from, because they say those are the most professionally run events that they've been a part of and that they get better results as speakers. So the way your pitch looks up front and what that communicates really does matter. And if you're sitting there thinking like, great, this all makes sense, but I could use some help actually putting it into practice, that's exactly what we help with in the Launch with the Summit Accelerator. So inside this program, we have step-by-step processes on how to pitch speakers, who to pitch, what the benefits and requirements should be, how to craft your pitches, what exactly to say when you follow up and when to do it, how to create a smooth onboarding process. And like, that's just the beginning. So if you are interested in learning more, you can apply at summitonabox.co/apply. But that's what I have for you today. I would love to hear your thoughts. If you have anything else that drives you nuts when you're being pitched or anything else you love to see when you're being pitched, definitely put that in the comments. But thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.